Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Clyde gives Ava one last order in the DiMera living room. E.J. was ending a PR call about Stefan's arrest when a sullen Holly marched through the room. "Good morning," E.J. said. When Holly didn't stop, E.J. called out to her. "I know you are worried about being penalized. But you chose to do medicines, and also you decided to lie to us about it," E.J. said. "You've no way prevaricated?" Holly combated. E.J. admitted that everyone made miscalculations, but that Holly demanded to learn an assignment. "Still, how is it fair that Tate and I cannot see each other presently?" Holly asked. "If everyone makes miscalculations." E.J. explained that had been Brady and Teresa's decision and that he understood why Tate's parents had felt that way. "I know that you suppose you want to be with Tate right now, but I believe in time, you will realize that this separation is for the stylish," E.J. said. Holly argued that the situation was J's fault because he'd been overzealous with Tate's execution. E.J. frowned. In the Brady pub, Paulina turned her nose up at her healthy breakfast. With a chortle, Abe noted that Paulina's cancer treatment would be over soon, and she could return to her usual breakfast chow. Paulina stressed that she was thankful for the treatment, but she wasn't looking forward to the insulation during the procedure. "I detest being down from you, Abraham Carver." "For indeed 1 nanosecond," Paulina said. Abe held Paulina's hand. Chanel was on her way to work when Johnny interdicted her in the forecourt, and he showed her the key to the Horton cabin. "We're starting our mini honeymoon moment," Johnny blazoned. "I've to work." "You know that," Chanel said. With a mime, Johnny noted that their honeymoon could stay. "I understand," Johnny said. Chanel kissed Johnny, and she went into the bakery. Johnny smiled. When Chanel returned outdoors, she told Johnny he was sneaky. "My alternate-in-command asked me why I indeed showed up when I'm supposed to be on my honeymoon," Chanel said. Johnny explained that he'd asked the staff to cover for Chanel for many days. "That was good of them, but Johnny, it's not right," Chanel said. Johnny explained that he'd negotiated time and partial payment for the redundant days. "I will cover it," Johnny added. Chanel thanked Johnny for his liberality. "I really want to go, so much, but Mama, she starts her treatment," Chanel said. Johnny explained that was why he'd wanted to start their honeymoon that day. "Paulina is going to be in insulation. You are not going to be suitable to be with her for the coming many days, and I figured that you are gone now want to spend as important time with her as possible when she's no longer radioactive," Johnny said. Chanel jounced in agreement. Johnny added that the cabin was near enough that Chanel could rush home if demanded. "I promise that this is going to be the stylish time ever, Mrs. DiMera," Johnny said. "Well, I formerly know that, Mr. Dupree, because I'm going to be alone in a cabin with the sexiest hubby in the world," Chanel said. Johnny wrapped his arms around Chanel. Outside the Salem Inn, Kristen lumbered as she read through the news composition about Stefan's arrest for medicine trafficking. "What the hell?" Kristen said. E.J. rounded the corner, and Kristen over here E.J. talked to Mr. Shin on the phone. "I realize it's not a good look for the company," E.J. started. Kristen intruded, and E.J. hastily ended his call. Furious, Kristen asked E.J. why she had learned about Stefan's arrest from a news composition. E.J. assured Kristen that family business was in able hands, and he rushed out. Johnny stopped his father as he passed the cafe, and Johnny informed E.J. that he was going to the Horton cabin with Chanel. "That is great. That is long overdue," E.J. said. E.J. started to rush off again. Johnny stopped him again and asked about Stefan. "Do you indeed watch?" E.J. asked. "Of course, I do. He is my uncle," Johnny said. "And he was supplying the medicines that nearly got Holly killed. Look, everything is fine and taken care of, okay?" E.J. said. E.J. prompted Johnny to enjoy his honeymoon, and he ran off. After Paulina finished her breakfast in the Brady pub, Chanel stopped by with a box of baked goods. "You are an angel," Paulina yelled. Paulina looked over at Abe, and she noted that bear claws weren't on the approved list for her diet. "You underrate me, because these are made with non-iodized swab." "So, you are each good," Chanel said. Paulina yelled with joy as Chanel passed a bear claw to Paulina. Chanel informed Paulina and Abe that she was headed out to the Horton cabin for a mini honeymoon. "But if you want me to stay," Chanel said. "Go." "I contend," Paulina said. Abe advised Chanel to keep warm because of the cold rainfall. With a chortle, Paulina noted that Johnny would be sure to keep Chanel warm. After Chanel left, Paulina said she was ready to go. "As much as I am going to miss you, I am going through this procedure, knowing that you are gone now, be at home, staying for me, and that you flash back our history again. It comforts me so, knowing that you love me now, also, and always," Paulina said. "And with all my heart," Abe combated. In the DiMera living room, Holly allowed about her discussion with Tate about where to meet up at Academy. As Holly shook off the memory, Johnny returned home. "What is wrong?" Johnny asked. "Nothing. Except I've literally no life," Holly said. Holly told Johnny that she had been interdicted from seeing Tate. "Just so you know, I am not in love with Tate. Just in case anyone tries to tell you I am," Holly said. Johnny smiled and said he hadn't heard anything. "I do really like him, however. I mean, he is a good Joe. It does not count, however, because my mama and stepdad number 3 have decided we are poisonous for each other." "And they are not?" Holly said. Holly apologized to Johnny, and she said she believed E.J. and Nicole were a mismatch. "I do not know about that, but I'm sorry to hear about you and Tate," Johnny said. With a mime, Holly said it was her fault. "You meddled up. We all do it. And now you are paying the consequences. And enough soon, this is going to be nothing but a bad memory for you," Johnny said. Johnny looked at his watch, and he excused himself to go upstairs and pack for his trip. "I am really happy for you guys. You really love each other so much. I hope I can find that one day," Holly said. Johnny counseled Holly not to be in a rush because she'd find love someday. After Johnny went upstairs, Rachel entered the room and hugged Holly. Rachel asked Holly if she wanted to do their nails like they had done together in the history. After Holly and Rachel painted their nails, Holly asked about Academy. As Holly and Rachel gabbled, Johnny and Chanel walked in with their luggage. Holly wished the newlyweds a good time. Rachel gagged as Johnny and Chanel kissed, and Holly laughed. After Johnny and Chanel left, Rachel told Holly that she didn't such like boys and would no way get wedded. "Well, you do not have to. What do you want to be when you grow up?" Holly asked. Holly rattled off many options, and she noted that she liked creatures. Kristen returned home, and she frowned when she saw Holly with Rachel. Kristen ordered Rachel to go upstairs. "What the hell are you doing?" Kristen asked. "We were just hanging out," Holly said. Kristen ordered Holly to stay down from Rachel. "I am not doing medicines presently," Holly said. "Is that just another taradiddle?" Kristen yelled. Kristen argued that Tate was like a son to her and also Rachel's half-family. "How do you suppose she's going to feel when she finds out what you did to him?" Kristen asked. Holly started to protest, but Kristen shut her down. Kristen advised that Holly would lament it if she approached Rachel again. "That is enough. You won't talk to her like that presently," EJ yelled as he walked into the room. Kristen argued that she had the right to determine who could talk to Rachel. "That's rich coming from you, considering your villainous history with Brady."